What up, PB Casheville? It's your boy Cashew, and right beside me is.
PB.
And we just want to let you know real quick that we do have an Instagram and a TikTok. It is right down over here. And also leave a like and subscribe. And we are going to be talking about Pokemon today. Hit it. What up, PB Casheville? It's your boy Cashew, and right beside me is.
Pika!
Who?
Pika!
Who's Pika?
Pika pika!
Speaking words.
Pika pika!
Okay, I see how it is.
Pika!
This is.
Pika pika pika!
Really? We're going to go there?
Pika!
Okay. I don't know what to say. He doesn't want to really talk and say his full name.
Pika pika pika! Pika Pikachu! Pika pika!
I don't understand what you're saying.
Pika 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 pika!
Oh, the Pikachu filter on our audio was on, so I was stuck saying Pikachu all the time
Oh.
because
Oh.
you know what we're discussing about today, right?
It is Pokemon.
Pokemon. Gotta catch them all. Now, here's the thing with Pokemon. When Matt Cashew asked me, he's like, "Can we talk about Pokemon?" And I'm like, I have not been as faithful to Pokemon as I have been with other gaming franchises. Actually, even with Nintendo, I wasn't faithful yet. So I was a little iffy. But then when I came to think about it, I think Pokemon is definitely worth talking about. Don't you think so, Cashew?
Oh yeah, Pokemon is very popular.
Very popular. One thing that I forgot, and as I was prepping for today's episode, Pokemon is actually one of the reasons why most people got into anime because not everybody knew exactly what anime was, or sometimes the concept of what anime is was so super risque that they didn't want to get into it because they thought, oh, that's like adult stuff. But when they watched Pokemon, it's like, oh, this is from Japan. Oh, maybe they got stuff that's pretty good too, and that's not so explodey or bloody
Gory.
or gory or charged with other stuff. But Pokemon was pretty good. So I was like, you know what? Let us talk about Pokemon.
And as you can see, we have our little Pokemon friends here.
Pokemon
That's
friends!
Pikachu,
Pika!
Rowlet,
Raleigh!
and Cyndaquil.
Cyndaquil!
No, it's Cinda.
Cinda?
You go Cinda or Quill.
Cinda. Like
No.
Simba?
No, not like Simba. But these are our little ones. Let's see. This Pikachu's Gen 1.
Gen 1,
Cyndaquil is Gen 2.
Gen 2.
And I believe Rowlet is between Gen 7 or 6. Gen 7. He's Gen 7.
Yeah, so I'm going to be the geriatric millennial here, and I'm usually just so into Gen 1. So forgive me if I'm like, huh, when Matt discusses certain things, because I'm sure there'll be certain things here that I'm like, no clue. In fact, this is how much of a geriatric millennial that I am. When we used to have everybody on the van, when picking everybody on the van, when everybody was still a teenager, and Pokemon Go was like super popular, they would tell me, "Hey, can you drive to down Main Street instead of going your usual route? Because there's a such and such over there. There's a gym there. I need to do this and do that." And I'm like, y'all are like total dorks. But then again, I was the same way too. So
Well,
let us discuss. I'm sorry, Matt. I cut you off.
I was going to say Pokemon Go was very, very popular. And it's still actually popular. So
Yeah, and I think one thing that I like about it is help people get out of help cope with COVID. I think that's pretty
yeah.
cool. I wonder. This is my thing. I am tempted. I am tempted because I think that it would be a unique perspective. Just me thinking. Because since I am going to Japan and none of us here have gone to Japan in a really long time, I wonder how Pokemon Go is in Japan.
Oh, it's probably popping over there. It's
Probably
like
pop. And here's the thing: I'm not going into like Tokyo and everything. These are like rural areas, so I'm wondering like how it's gonna be over there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
So
know. I know with Pokemon Go, like there's some Pokemon like that you can't capture. Like I can't capture some Pokemon in the United States. There's some in different, in the different countries.
So can you like trade remotely with people or not really? Like let's
So
say
the
for
way the
example,
way it works is like you had to be kind of close to that person. You had to have them as a friend,
okay,
and you
okay.
had to like kind of be close to each other. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like you have to like it has to be like close distance.
Oh, I can't. So let's say that if I have my cousins in the Philippines are playing Pokemon Go, I can't trade with them or like even through the internet. Like let's
Unless they changed it, because
Mhm.
all I ever know is like the way to trade, you have to be kind of close.
Well, yeah, I think Game Freak and Nintendo needs to get on that because, like for example, a lot of the mobile games now, like you're playing people all across the world. So I think
Yeah,
Pokemon Go,
Pokemon Go, you could play, you could face people across the world.
yeah, but like can you like trade or something like that?
You could trade, but like I said, you have
Okay,
to be kind of close to them.
gotcha,
Like
gotcha. Okay,
so,
so let's just give a brief. I think a lot of people don't even know the history of Pokemon, so I'm going to give you the super condensed history of Pokemon. So it started by Satoshi Tajiri, okay, and he did it as an homage to his childhood in Machida, Tokyo. Just like a lot of Japanese game designers, they always drew from their childhood, and
yeah,
so what he used to do is went to like the forests and all of like the fields right around him, and then what he'd do is he'd like capture all of these bugs, and he'd document them and also the creatures. Of course, he didn't like keep them in cages or anything like that, but he'd like look at it, document it, just kind of like how they do the Pokedex, and then all of a sudden like would compile like this information about um, all of these different creatures in his area. And so initially, Nintendo did not want to do it because they thought that it was going to be something that wasn't going to be popular. But you know who opposed it? Who was
who opposed
who
it?
was actually for it? I mean, not for it, but who opposed their like pushback to it? Shigeru Miyamoto. Now, do you know who Shigeru Miyamoto is?
I heard his name a lot.
Well, here's the thing. Kiddos, gather around. Shigeru Miyamoto is the head of Nintendo. He is responsible for Mario Brothers, responsible for Legend of Zelda, and basically and Donkey Kong and anything else that's Super Nintendo related. Now, the interesting thing is uh, when Shigeru Miyamoto developed Legend of Zelda, guess where he drew the inspiration from?
Wasn't it in Japan, right?
Also
If
from
his home country or his hometown,
his childhood,
his
because
childhood.
what he used to do is he used to explore the caves around his home in Kyoto, and then he said, "Hey, this is kind of interesting." And he drew that. So I'm wondering, like, that's probably what also caused him to say, "Hey, you know what? We should really push this idea because it's something nostalgic. It's something that reminds us of a time because one of the things that happens also in Japan is that there's this more urbanization. So a lot of these places that used to be all fields and used to be all like natural and such, they got torn down and then they build apartment complexes and everything. So I think what's cool about Pokemon is it's another reminder of how uh, game designers take their past and try to kind of help relive it again or try to have somebody share it with the rest of the generation. So as they developed the Game Boy has a link cable, and I know this because I remember being in high school and uh, trading Pokemon at lunchtime. And so when Tajiri saw this, said, "Hey, you know, we can develop a game that allows us to be able to do this." So he took those particular concepts and then he pitched it to Nintendo. They didn't really think it was going to do well, but then all of a sudden it just kind of boomed, and it
It's still
spawned.
booming
It's
today
still
too.
booming today. Anime series is a great anime series, and again, going back to what we were talking about, it's a lot of people's initial uh, foray into anime, which is great, and they've gone to I don't know how many seasons, a ton of movies, and various sequels. And the cool thing about the sequels, in terms of the games, they've been very very successful. And here's the cool stat: if I were to ask you which has made more, the MCU or Pokemon, which would you guess?
Pokemon.
Pokemon. You know how much?
It's by a lot. It's by a lot actually. Pokemon. I think last time I know, Pokemon. I think was like the number one selling, like something. I know Pokemon was number one in something. I can't remember what it was.
It is the number one media
There we go.
franchise.
Media franchise it
Number
was.
one media franchise, and I believe it was 80 billion. I believe. No, I think it's something that I'll double check on my facts on terms of that, but it is a huge. Right, they even have like things with airplanes. Like there's Japanese airlines has actual Pokemon airplanes.
Pokemon is actually a big thing in Japan. It
Oh,
really is.
oh no, it's because
It's like super huge. I think in Tokyo they literally have. If I'm not mistaken, in Tokyo they do have like their own Pokemon company and like they have everything Pokemon there.
not only that, it's like the headquarters for it is it looks like the MetLife building. It's crazy, and the cultural phenomenon that it's caused. And I think that's one of the reasons why we have to like acknowledge how cool Pokemon is that it's timeless, and I think also it's also not necessarily harmless. Yes, I know that. Did you hear about the incidents where they had the Porygon episode that
Yeah,
caused
there
seizures?
there's some of those stuff.
I watched that episode and I don't remember getting seizures.
It was like I think it was during it happened a lot in Japan because
Yeah,
it what
especially
happened
the
there
little
was okay
kids.
so
Yeah.
there were some episodes that came out in Japan that didn't get released in United States
Mhm.
because um there were some things that controversial things like there was one episode where it was like they were in the safari zone trying to get a Dratini
Right.
and the guy like shot Team Rocket with like a machine gun or something like that.
Yeah.
So like they banned that one. There's many other ones that they banned that had a couple of controversial stuff, which it's like okay, I understand why they banned it, but at the same time, it's just like I don't know. I've seen them already. You know,
Yeah.
the Porygon one did not see. I don't think though that episode.
Yeah, I remember. I think. See, I don't know if I did see it or not, but or maybe they didn't release it out here. But uh, I think it was so much flashing lights that it did cause kids to have seizures,
Yeah,
and I completely forgot that I'm wearing Pikachu ears. Oh my goodness, that's just how much we love Pokemon.
I mean,
So
look at that. I got the hat.
yeah, the same hat from last week, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So it's like we're repping Knicks and Pokemon.
What
Knicks
you working?
and I'm
Is that
repping
Yankees?
the Yankees and Pokemon, so that's always a cool combination. So I guess that's a brief history of it. I mean, that's super brief. If you go online, and there's so many folks that do a full on history on the development of Pokemon, I think they'll do it better justice than we would. But the fact is, yeah, it was inspired by his childhood, and then it's become a cultural phenomenon that we enjoy today. So, I guess that's what we wanted to discuss. Like, what is this impact that Pokemon has had? I guess you can even look at it from your own personal perspective, but maybe even in a global scale. Like, what's one of the great things about it that you
I
think that it's contributed?
I think one of the great things about Pokemon is like I feel like every time when they make like an anime series or a game,
Hmm.
it's
It's an event.
it's different and
Hmm.
it also brings people together because they do
Yes.
have events and they do those type of things.
Yeah.
And I think Pokemon is just it's for a lot of people, even for like when me, even though I'm like what, I'm 27, it's cool to like watch.
Hmm.
Like I'll give you a good example. Like when I say Pokemon is like eventful, there's people that collect Pokemon cards. Like there's literally a Pokemon community,
Hmm.
and there's this guy. His name's Leon Hart. I think I told you about him. Like he does Pokemon cards,
Yeah.
and there is like literally a Pokemon community where he will like host an event and people will be there
Hmm.
and open Pokemon cards and have a
Yeah.
good time. You know, no violence, nothing like that.
Yeah.
It brings peace. It brings joy to people,
Right.
and it's like I said, it's friendly. You know, I know there's some people that are probably against Pokemon because it's called in Japan it's called Pocket Monster.
Yeah. That's where it really blew some people's minds away. It's like that's what it means. Pokemon, pocket
Pocket Monster.
monsters. Yeah.
But me personally, it's like it's there's like a lot of people like oh well it's bad. I'm like
Hmm.
it's not.
Yeah.
It's not bad. It's for kids. Yeah, and adults could like enjoy it too. And there's adults my age that still enjoy Pokemon.
Yeah, I'm sure the folks have even like lost a lot of weight because of
Pokemon Go.
Pokemon Go.
People also lost money because there was that time where they were actually offering people money
Hmm.
to do their Pokemon Go for them.
Yeah, that's all. I never understood that. Like, World of Warcraft did the same thing, but I think the difference between World of Warcraft and Pokemon Go, you actually have to go outside to do stuff with, and I think that's pretty neat. Like, the one funny incident. There was one time when we had Wednesday night service, and then we thought that, oh my goodness, what are all these people doing here for church? And we're like, are these new folks? And then all of a sudden, it's like apparently churches and uh, play other houses of worship are considered like uh, Pokestops or something like that.
A Pokemon gym.
It's a Pokemon.
Yeah, yeah. It's like a
That's
Pokemon gym, and it
that's
was
so crazy. I didn't, and it was something so difficult when a lot of these guys were in my Sunday school class. They're like, "Hey, can you delay the lesson real quick? Because we need to make sure that the gym is that we still own the gym. That Northeast is still owning the gym." And I'm like, "Guys are such dorks." But you know what? I kind of have to retract from that because okay, when I was working for Stop and Shop a gajillion years ago, and I really mean like a gajillion years ago, my manager was mad cool because she allowed me to have my Game Boy at my register, right?
yeah.
And so I would be playing Pokemon Red in between like in between customers and whatnot because it'd be dead in certain times. And there's a trick with in Pokemon Red that allows you to duplicate a lot of your items. So it's really cool to level up your characters and such. And so one day I'm there, and then this kid notices the that I have my Game Boy, and he's like, "Is that Pokemon?" And then it's like, "Yeah, it's Pokemon." I said, "Hey, do you know the multiple item trick?" He's like, "No." And he goes, "Well," and then I told him about it. I don't really remember the things, but the kid was like I was a god to this kid because it's like I did not know that. That's so cool.
There's a lot of glitches. Like there's a Mew glitch where you can get Mew in the game, which
Missing
is
no
the which is no, it's not. It's actually Mew.
Mew.
Like you
Yeah,
can actually get Mew.
yeah.
That glitch is so like it's not hard. It's just like there's this one spot where you had to fight this trainer,
Mhm.
but you had to press like the start
Start
button
button
quick and teleport before you fight
before
him.
you fight him, right?
That one always got to me when I was trying to do the glitch.
Mhm.
And like I said, Pokemon had like it's not even about the anime series. Like even the games, like when the games come out, that thing goes like it go. I never seen a bad Pokemon game. Never seen a
Yeah, I
bad
think
Pokemon game. Never seen a game get bad. A Pokemon game get bad reviews.
yeah.
Never.
Because one thing when I was looking at it, I think the reason why it's not bad is because you know what to expect, right? Like when you have these other games like Grand Theft Auto, you're expecting something bigger, something more polished. That like what's the new features? But when you get Pokemon, it's no different from the way that it was back in
That's no.
1998.
It's
It's
not.
like
No,
you
that's
have
not true though. They
oh,
actually do a lot of different things in Pokemon.
okay.
So like, okay, I'll give you a
No,
good.
it's like it's different systems. I get that,
No,
but
no, no. I mean
the
like
concept's still
the
the
concept
same.
is then you
Like,
capture the
yeah,
Pokemon, but like the story's different.
yeah, right, right.
There's some new things. Like I'll give you a good example. Pokemon X and Y. That's a season 6 one. They start doing Mega Evolutions
Right, right.
and like Mega Evolutions, which is pretty cool because like some Pokemon's got like they Mega Evolve. Like you get a stone, like a
Hmm.
Mega Stone, and like they'll have different types. Well, they take that out. They don't have that in season 7. Like in not season 7. In I can't think what's a region. I can't even think. They don't have it in the Gen 7. They
Okay,
took it out of Gen 7. So like every time when they add something new, they'll take it out and
okay.
add something different.
Yeah,
And they do that also with the games,
right. But
which I think is pretty cool. And I think that's why I think that's why Pokemon is very popular. It's very
yeah,
well known. It's because they're not doing the same thing over and over. It's
yeah,
always something different. You don't expect to see it. You don't know what to expect from Pokemon.
yeah. But the thing is, it's not so difficult. Like the changes aren't so far fetched, which is a Pokemon too, I think,
Yep,
right?
Farfetch,
It
Farfetch.
far fetched. Like it's not so far fetched and so out of left field that it's something that doesn't become unfamiliar. So like
Yeah,
with a person like me, like I played Pokemon back in 1998. My goodness, that's just crazy. But whenever I watch somebody playing a recent Pokemon, it's like, oh, I know that. That's interesting. And plus, it allows you to be able to make that slight connection with somebody that's like 3 or 4 generations younger than you.
yeah.
So and like if I talk this is one of my favorite Pokemon stories. Like these Pikachu ears, right? Um, sometimes if I don't dress up for Halloween, all I wear is like my Pikachu ears. And whenever I give candy on the door, no matter what age that person is, they like light up because oh my gosh, it's Pikachu. Oh, it's Pikachu.
Everybody knows Pikachu.
Everybody knows Pikachu.
Pikachu is basically the mascot. But another thing I like about Pokemon is like it's not like I said the mangas. Like it's not only like the games and the animes. Like even the movies, like they're pretty fun to watch.
Mhm.
And on top of that, like remember the Pokemon rap?
Yes.
Like I thought that was pretty cool. Like they have different unique ways of like captivating their audience,
Audiences.
and it
Right.
was
Right.
pretty cool. And this is the one thing I wanted to talk about because I'm older than Pokemon, which is pretty crazy. Ash, I think it came out in the anime series came out in 1998.
Mhm.
So Ash was the protagonist for like
Tw-
25
And
years.
he doesn't
He
age.
doesn't age. And Pikachu was with him by his side for 25 years. So I knew Ash for 25 years, right?
Mhm.
So now they changed it up. I can't remember who their new protagonists are, but they're
Mhm.
gonna have someone different because Ash finally com-
Becomes like a
he finally
world
he
champion.
finally completed his mission.
Mhm.
And this is my question. I was thinking about it. Do you think that will captivate more people now, um, or will it not?
I think so because again, just like as you said, it's something that's so relatable. Because that's one of the things I liked about Pokemon as well. It's like it tackled a lot of really interesting issues. I mean, even the first game, uh, one of the things that Nintendo wanted to make sure is like the Pokemon don't die, so to speak.
Yeah,
But death is something that's definitely addressed in the game. Like when you go to the Pokemon cemetery, and
yeah.
so it's like it's interesting how it still allows people to deal with those particular things. One of my favorite story arcs from Gen One was really the Butterfree uh, story arc, like how he gets it as a Caterpie, and then it evolves, and then eventually at the very end he has to let it go. Like I have to admit, like when I watched that episode,
It made me
it
cry.
was like that's very touching.
It made
That
me sad because like it made me sad. I was just like, damn, why Butterfree? I everybody Butterfree, but he did that a lot with his Pokemon. Like
Yeah.
even Pidgeot, he released, But this is how I see it. I think it will help out Pokemon a lot
Yeah, because
because
it's
now you're gonna go to the newer gen, and now the newer generations,
mhm.
they're going to have someone that they could relate to. Because like I said, I have Ash for 25 years, so I
Now, yeah.
I knew Ash for 25 years, where he was the underdog every time, and you'll
Mhm.
be always root for him. You
Yeah.
always be like, I want him to. Now the new generation, they're gonna have their underdog. It's not gonna
Mhm.
be Ash Ketchum. It's gonna be
Yeah.
someone else, which I think is pretty interesting. That I was pretty shocked that they're like, no more Ash. I'm like, what? No more
Yeah,
Ash
I
and
know.
Pikachu? I'm
It,
like, but that's my childhood. But then I think
it's
about it,
our
it's like
childhood. It's
now,
crazy. Yeah.
now the new generation, they're gonna have someone that they can relate to and
Mhm.
someone that they could root for.
Yeah. But
Because even I mean, they probably still rooted for Ash and Pikachu, but now,
it's going to be like a person all their own.
yeah,
Yeah.
their own person
Yeah.
basically. And
But
now they're gonna have to find a new mascot for the anime
I
series.
don't know if you can dethrone King Pikachu because Pikachu is just the man. I am a big fan of Pikachu, as you can tell
You know
from my.
what's the crazy thing? He is not the most popular Pokemon though.
Yeah, this is really weird. You were mentioning this that actually Charizard is the most popular
Charizard,
Charizard.
unless they change it, Charizard is the most popular Pokemon right now.
That's really I would like. I think I don't know if I would agree with that. I mean, probably like numerically, but I think because that's the thing. Like we did a test. Like I met up for breakfast with these guys this morning, and I asked everybody. It's like when I mentioned Pokemon, who's the first Pokemon that you think? Oh yeah, Pikachu. Because I don't know, Pikachu is he's just the face of the franchise. He's like
Well, you know
he's
what?
the LeBron James
Well, you know what?
of Pokemon.
You don't realize they sometimes interchange them.
Oh yeah,
Sometimes Charizard could be
the face of
sometimes
the
the face,
franchise. Yeah,
and then sometimes Pikachu can.
yeah. Because with me, Charizard he's the cover, I guess cover athlete if you'd say. He's the cover athlete for
Pokemon
Pokemon Red.
Red, and
Yeah.
then Blastoise is Pokemon Blue, and then
Hmm.
Pikachu is Pokemon Yellow. But if you get like most of the Pokemon cards, like if you
Yeah,
It's
Charizard's
it's
usually
Charizard
Char's
mostly.
the
Mostly Charizard in like most of the packs.
yeah.
So that's why I say he's the most popular. I really do believe Charizard is the most popular, and his like the I think it was the first edition Pokemon
Mhm.
Charizard card. Like from
Yeah, Char
it's worth a lot.
a lot of
A
a lot
lot of money.
yeah, a lot of folks aren't going to get this, but Charizard's like the Shivon dragon of Pokemon cards. Do you get that reference?
I
No.
think I'm trying to remember.
The Shivan Dragon is from
From
Magic
Magic.
Magic the Gathering.
Okay,
Yeah.
but
So,
yeah, so like Charizard, that's why I say Charizard's like the most popular,
mhm.
which is kind of like I said, it's kind of crazy because Pikachu's like you would think but it's Charizard. Charizard's the most popular Pokemon.
I really let we need I didn't want to I want to fact check that just to see like in terms of a poll who the most pop because
Yeah, I could look. Let me look it up for you.
I wrote for both because uh personally my two favorites of all time and you're all gonna think I'm just dorks is definitely Pikachu, but it's also Squirtle. I loved Squirtle. Like whenever I started a new game in Pokemon, I would always try somebody else, but the order in which I always got the original three Pokemon was Squirtle, Bulbasaur, and then Charizard. Because Charizard was like super OP, you know what I mean? So that's why I was like, it's just not as cool. Uh, but yeah, I was a
This
big
is
fan
20.
of Squirtle.
I'm looking for 2023. This is 2020. We'll do 2020. We'll do 2022 because it's recent. It's not that far. So research claims to reveal the 10 most popular Pokemon, and Pikachu isn't one of them.
That's crazy. Because I
So
think
let me see. The most popular Pokemon. Number one, Charizard.
really
Number two, Gardevoir. Number three, Sylveon. Number four, Lucario. Number five, Gengar.
Gengar.
Number six, Umbreon. Number seven, Garchomp. Number eight, Mimikyu, which is that's crazy. I'm surprised. Number nine, Rayquaza, and number 10 is Greninja. That's
Pikachu.
shocking that Pikachu.
Pikachu's still numero uno in my book.
But yeah,
Pikachu.
so
Pikachu, yo.
Charizard is okay. Here it is. This is from 2023. 10 most popular Pokemon of all time. This one says Rayquaza. This one says Gardevoir.
Is this in like any particular order?
This one says Garchomp. This is number one. Four is Greninja. Five is Gengar. Six is Lucario. Seven is Mewtwo. Eight is Eevee. Nine is Charizard. Is this like
I think it's in reverse order.
I
Reverse order.
I think this is like for Ash or something because it's just like weird. What are okay? This is another one. This is 2020. So what are the top most Pokemons from each region?
From
Oh,
each
from
region.
each
From
region.
each region.
So
Okay.
let's do just Gen one. So Gen one
Yeah, top
is
to Gen 1.
Kanto region is Charizard, Gengar, Bulbasaur, Pikachu, Eevee, Dragonite, Mewtwo, Arcanine, Lapras.
Wow. That's
So
sad.
like I said,
That
Charizard is the most popular Pokemon.
I will disagree. I'm Team Pikachu. Did Charizard get a movie about him? No. But actually, that'd be kind of neat if what if they did like a solo Charizard movie, CG Charizard movie? That I'd actually probably go and watch that in theaters, probably.
Well, Charizard was in the movie. I thought was he in the,
He
he
was
is
in
in
the
the movie?
movie.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
which
and
is
it's
which
one of
is
the
that
cool
I'm
parts
gonna
of
be
it.
honest with you. That was a really good movie.
Detective Pikachu does
So,
not get enough um
love.
enough love.
It was a really good movie.
I found it very even though like a lot of the Pokemon that I saw in it, I was like I didn't really know who they were, but it was still really cool. But I think Ryan Reynolds as Pikachu is definitely good. I would like to see Paul Rudd voice a Pokemon.
But so yeah, like I said, like Pokemon is very popular. Like I said, it's number one in media, which is crazy, and
Hmm.
it's still getting popular. Like Nintendo does have his it's big I can't talk. It's big hitters like Mario, Zelda,
Hmm.
but Pokemon's just
I think it is their probably biggest thing because I don't think even the Mario franchises break even reach the levels that Pokemon does. Like I'm just looking at this list from Wikipedia right now. Apparently, like the total amount that revenue that it's generated, I was close. It's 88 billion. Okay, 88 billion. The MCU, in terms of how much it has generated, is 32.3 billion. Okay, it's also more than Call of Duty, more than Batman, and plus these franchises have
are
last
big too.
been longer. Like Mickey Mouse and Friends, right? All of the different animations that Mickey Mouse and Friends do, that's 52 billion. But if you were to take Disney, yeah, of course, Disney will probably trump
I'm surprised
Nintendo.
Winnie Pooh's up there. Winnie Pooh's up there.
Yeah, of
I didn't
course.
know that.
Because apparently retail sales, because everybody likes the Winnie the Pooh things. Tigger's still a very popular person,
So
but yeah, Pokemon is like really. I'm just wondering. Let me take a look at Pokemon Company, see what the stock price of Pokemon is. Wow, it's right now. It doesn't say. I can't see
Well, you're
the stock
using
price.
Wikipedia, which is always changing the
Yeah,
answers.
that's always changing in terms of that. But yeah, we had. Well, I'll throw this up on there. I'm sure like this is a picture, right here of the Roppongi Hills Mori Tower. That's where Pokemon's headquarters is. Look at how big that is. That thing is like towering. So, yeah, it's kind of neat that that it's still a very popular thing. That's one of the things that I was gonna go try to go see, because one of the places that we were gonna go to in Japan was Kyoto, and it completely passed my mind that that's where Nintendo was created. So hopefully, when I get there, I'm sure Pikachu's gonna be everywhere, and because he's like
Pokemon
the
is very popular in Japan.
it-
It's very popular in
oh,
Japan.
it's bigger here, bigger than here.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
it,
that's another thing about Pokemon. It's a global thing. Like
yeah,
it's international, literally international.
yeah. I think because it's something that everybody can relate to. Imagine that, like just I don't know how to. This is gonna be a weird term. I'm just thinking about this. Okay, right now we have a pretty serious, and I mean serious, conflict in the Middle East. Right, we got Palestinians and Israelis fighting against each other. What if it's like, hey, let's play Pokemon, and then just like it's like, wait, really, you play Pokemon? Because yeah, I play Pokemon. And what if that kind of helps people kind of find that common ground to kind of help them stop doing what they're doing? I
I
just
wish it was that easy,
it's never that easy.
but it's never that
But just
easy.
think about it though, like that everybody like right now, always tries to look at what's the things that make them different, right?
Yeah.
But like the what but with Pokemon, it's like everybody likes Pokemon. I
Oh
don't
yeah.
even me, even as old as I am, it's like it's not like I don't like Pokemon. I love Pokemon, as you can see. Like, would a person who loves Pokemon be doing their entire podcast wearing Pikachu ears? But I think that's one of the best things about it. Is also it's very easy, it's accessible, and it's also just something that everybody can kind of relate to. That's I think what makes Pokemon very timeless. One more thing that it does is that it also really helped Japan's economy, and
Yeah.
also I think helped introduce Japanese culture
The world.
to the world. Like apparently before Pokemon started, Japan was not as for me personally, it's culturally significant, but like for most people, it really wasn't. It's like, oh, they make cars and electronics, but then for cultural from a cultural standpoint, when Pokemon came on the scene, it's like that's when the anime craze started. And turned out dorks like myself who spent a lot of money in terms of anime, but the cultural impact that it has. I think even most people, when I was reading articles upon it, is that it really contributed not only to just the economic, I guess, resurgence of Japan, but it also helped in terms of its cultural resurgence as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, any parting thoughts about Pokemon before we go, Matthias?
My parting thoughts is if you never watch Pokemon or if you never play the game, give it a try.
Give it a try. Yeah, I mean, it's easy to pick up. It's really not the game itself is not really there's nothing bad about it. I can't think of anything. There's no sex in it. There's no real violence to it. It's just fun and it's addictive, but it's also clean. And the rags to riches rise that Ash or in the game Red does is you're that guy and you have this really cool adventure through this entire Kanto region. This is just Gen 1 and the other games too are amazing.
Yeah.
But
Story's great. Story's always great for the like when you play the game. The
mhm,
story's always gonna be great. Like I
always be
always love
great. Yeah.
playing. They have different stories, different Pokemons, but it's always fun.
Yeah, I agree. And so what are your thoughts on Pokemon? Definitely let us know what they are. Uh, leave a comment. If Here's the other thing too. Do you agree that Charizard is more popular than Pikachu? If Leave a comment on the comments just to say no, Pikachu. I'd like to see how many comments we get. So if you even just watch this for 2 seconds, uh, are you Team Pikachu or Team Charizard? So I will post that also on the Facebook page. So and just reply saying that you're Team Pikachu or Team Charizard. So as much as I love Team like love Charizard, I'm gonna have to go on Team Pikachu here.
I'm Team Charizard.
Oh man, we are split. Okay, so let's see how far this goes because we noticed that like more people are watching our videos, which is cool. So leave a comment in the comments below and let us know if you are Team Charizard or Team Pikachu. All right, so again, we hope that you had a wonderful day today and hope that you enjoyed this episode. And as we say every week, we don't know you, but we love you, and there's a God above that does. I'm PB.
And I'm Cashew.
Peace out,
PB
PB Cashewville.